The Zelthari woman stood at door number 47892, her translucent fingers trembling as she raised them to knock. 3 years. 3 Earth years of searching every human settlement from the bustling cities of New Terra to the remote mining colonies on Europa's ice. Her iridescent skin had dulled from exhaustion, her once bright bioluminescent patterns now flickering weakly. Hayal opened the door of her modest apartment in the Kepler station, wiping grease from her hands onto her mechanic's coveralls. She froze when she saw the alien woman, not from fear but from the raw desperation in those crystalline eyes. "Please," the Zelthari whispered in broken standard. "I search for the one who saved my son." Hayal had heard the rumors. Everyone had. The crazy alien mother who'd been knocking on doors across human space, asking the same question over and over. Most people turned her away. Some called security. A few tried to help, but after 3 years, most assumed she was delusional. "Come in," Hayal said quietly. "You look like you need to sit down." The alien woman's name was Shivara, and her story spilled out in fragmented phrases as Hayal made her tea, a human custom Shivara had learned to appreciate during her long search. 5 years ago, her son Kale had been part of a Zelthari exploration vessel that suffered catastrophic failure near human territory. The crew had sent a distress signal, but Zelthari ships were weeks away. "Humans came," Shivara said, her voice breaking, "when no one else could. When my people said it was impossible, one human docked with failing ship, saved 17 Zelthari, saved my Kyle. Why didn't you get their name?" Hayal asked gently. "Communications damaged, chaos, my son unconscious. When he woke in human medical station, the rescuer was gone. Humans said it was just what anyone would do." Shivara's patterns pulsed with something between frustration and admiration. "But not anyone would do. Not anyone could do. That human piloted through debris field that would kill most species. That human gave oxygen mask to my son when their own ran low. That human is why I still have my child." Hayal felt her chest tighten. She thought of her brother Kivan, who'd been flying solo rescue missions in this sector 5 years ago. He'd always been reckless like that, brilliant, infuriating, and constitutionally incapable of ignoring a distress call. Kivan, who'd died 18 months ago when his ship's oxygen recycler failed during what should have been a routine supply run. What did this human look like? Hale asked, though she already suspected the answer. Kyle only saw through damaged helmet, but he remembered eyes, dark eyes, kind eyes. Hand symbol. Shivara pulled out a carefully preserved hologram. This symbol on flight suit shoulder. Hyle's breath caught. The patch showed a constellation, Orion's belt, with a small shooting star. It was custom-made, a gift she'd sewn for Kivan's 20th birthday. He'd worn it on every flight. "That's my brother," she whispered. That was Kivan. Shivara stood so quickly she nearly knocked over her tea. Her bioluminescence flared brilliant blue, the Zelthari expression of overwhelming emotion. Where is he? I must thank him. He's dead." The words came out flat, emotionless. Hayal had said them so many times they'd lost their power to hurt. Almost. Died alone in space. Equipment failure. By the time anyone found him, the light drained from Shivara's patterns. She sank back into her chair, and for a long moment neither spoke. "He never told me," Hayal finally said. "He never told anyone. Just logged it as assisted distressed vessel in his flight records." That was Kivan. Thought heroism was just part of the job description. Shivara reached across the table, her alien hand finding Hayal's human one. "I am too late to thank him. But you should know what he did. You should know that my son lives because of your brother's courage. That 17 Zelthari families are whole because of him." She pulled out a small device, projecting images. Kale is a young adult now, studying xenobiology. Other rescued crew members with their families. Children who existed because their parents had survived. "Human philosophy says save one life, save the world," Shivara continued. "Kivan saved 17 worlds, 17 futures, and he gave oxygen to my son first, even though..." Her voice cracked. "Even though Kale later learned that human went without for 47 minutes. Permanent lung damage. Medical records we found showed he was hospitalized for weeks after." Hayal closed her eyes. That explained the persistent cough Kivan had developed. The one he'd dismissed as just a bug. He'd nearly died saving strangers and never said a word. "Why?" Hayal asked. "Why search for 3 years?" You could have just moved on. Been grateful. Shivara's patterns pulsed with fierce determination. Because humans always say what they do is nothing special. Because your species risks everything and asks for nothing. Because I needed the galaxy to know that it was not nothing. It was everything. She stood, reaching into her pack to pull out a crystal sculpture, a Zelthari tradition hand-carved over years. It depicted a human figure surrounded by 17 stars, each star bearing the name of a rescued crew member. I cannot thank Kivin, but I can make certain the galaxy knows what he did, what humans do. Shivara placed the sculpture in Hayal's hands. Will you accept this? Will you let me tell his story? Hayal looked at the sculpture, at this alien mother who'd spent 3 years searching for a ghost. Driven by gratitude so profound it crossed species and stars, she thought of Kivin, who'd died believing he was nobody special, just another pilot doing their job. Yes, Hayal said. Tell them. Tell them all. Shivara's bioluminescence blazed like a supernova, and for the first time in 3 years her search was over. She hadn't found the human she sought, but she'd found something just as important. Someone to carry his legacy forward. As Hayal walked Shivara to the door, the alien woman paused. Humans confuse the galaxy, so fragile yet so fearless, so mortal yet so willing to risk the little time they have. Why? Hayal smiled, thinking of her reckless, heroic, wonderful brother. Because if we don't, who will? It was the most human answer in the universe. The end.